joining us on this edition of Teaching on Television. Today, we are going to read from Because of an Acorn. So together, we're going to do a little reading, a little learning, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So thank you for joining teachers from Beaufort County School District as we try to give you some lessons on television. To get started, we need to thank Chronicle Books. Chronicle Books gave us permission to use Because of an Acorn for this lesson. So thank you so much to Chronicle Books. Today for this lesson, when I speak to the children, I'm going to refer to them as scholars. I want to call them scholars because scholars to me always try their hardest and are ready to learn. So all the students out there listening in, if you're ready to learn, give me a thumbs up. Awesome. If you are ready to try your hardest, give me another thumbs up. Wonderful. All right, scholars, I think that you are ready. And although this lesson is for kindergarten through second grade, any child can participate. So join in, have fun with your younger siblings, and have a really good time learning. So let's dig into Because of an Acorn. It's always great to start out a book thinking about the authors. This is a really cool story. So the authors of this book is actually a mother and a son team. So Lola Schaefer and Adam Schaefer wrote this book together after hiking through a forest with great white oaks. And they realized the acorn is the seed of the oak, but it is also the food for many animals. So it inspired the book that we're about to read. And then they worked with this illustrator who has beautiful illustrations, Fran Preston Gannon. She is an award-winning illustrator. She uses paint and ink textures that she can then arrange digitally. So I can't wait for you to see all of the beautiful illustrations in this book. Another fun fact about how this book was written is that Ranger Randy Hedgepath met with the authors and he taught them all about the Cumberland Plateau. So this is an ecosystem where the white oak is, of course, the keystone species. And what that means is if it disappears, the entire ecosystem would eventually crumble. So after meeting with Ranger Randy, the authors were inspired to write this book. And this is also why they decided to start with an acorn. All right, so you have a lot of background about this book. But give me a thumbs up if you are ready to start reading. Great job. I'm excited. So we're going to read this book twice. The first time I'm going to read this book so you can look at all of the beautiful illustrations. I want you to think about the patterns of the words. And I'm going to make it tricky by covering some words so you will have to think about what would make sense. All right, here we go. Because of an acorn. Scholars, think about what word is under this rectangle. What would make sense? I will count down so you can tell me the answer. 3, 2, 1. Maybe you already have the answer, but I'm giving you a little clue. The word starts with TR. Scholars, what is this word? Look at the illustrations. It gives us a hint. The acorn will grow into a tree. Awesome. Give me a thumbs up if you knew it. Wonderful job. And then because of a tree, scholars, think about what word is under this rectangle. What will make sense? I will count down and you can tell me the answer. 3, 2, 1. Oh, again, I'm giving you a little clue. The word starts with B. Scholars, what is this word? Look at the illustration. It gives us a hint. What animal will be provided a home as the tree grows? Yes, a bird. Because of a bird, scholars, think about what is under this rectangle. What would make sense? I'm going to count down and you can tell me the answer. 3, 2, 1. Maybe you already have the answer, but I'm going to give you a little clue. The word starts with S. Scholars, look at this word. The illustration gives us a hint. What did the bird eat that will later be in the ecosystem? A seed. Awesome work. You guys are figuring out all of these words. Because of a seed. Ooh, scholars, think about what word is under this rectangle. What would make sense? I will count down and you can tell me the answer. 3, 2, 1. Maybe you already have the answer, but I am giving you a little clue. The word starts with FL. Scholars, what is this word? Look at the illustration. It gives us a hint. When the seed from the bird reaches the soil, what will it grow to be? A flower. Pat yourself on the back if you didn't let that frog trick you and you knew that it was a flower. Great job. Because of a flower, a fruit. Because of a fruit, a chipmunk. Because of a chipmunk, I did it again. What word is under this rectangle? What would make sense? I will count down and you can tell me the answer. 3, 2, 1. Maybe you already have the answer, but I'm giving you a little clue. The word starts with SN. Look at the illustration. That's going to give you a hint. So now you know it can't be that bird, but it's something else. The chipmunk is the prey of this animal. A snake. You got it. Because of a snake, scholars, think about what word is under this rectangle. What will make sense? I will count down and you can tell me the answer. 3, 2, 1. Oh, maybe you already have the answer, but I'm giving you a little clue. The word starts with H. Scholars, what is this word? Look at the illustration. It's going to give us a hint. The snake is the prey of this animal. A hawk. That's right, you got it. Nice job. And because of a hawk, an acorn. Because of an acorn, a forest. That's the end of the book. You see how it went back to the acorn? Isn't that a beautiful story? All right, now it's time to talk about it. So scholars, did you notice a pattern in the language of the book? What are you thinking? Yes, the word because. It threads the whole book together. Because is a signal word for what story structure? When you see the word because, what kind of structure is coming? Scholars, tell me what you think. Yes, it is cause and effect. So this author uses cause and effect to structure the story and teach us about the interdependency of the forest. Great job, scholars. Because we were thinking about it like that, we need to read this book again so we can think about it even more deeply. This time when we read it, I'm going to have an I can statement for us, right? This is what I want us to be able to do at the end. So I'm going to read this first, and then I'm going to let you read it with me. Here's my turn. I can explain how the authors use the text structure of cause and effect to inform the reader. All right, now it's your turn. Read it with me. Ready, go. I can explain how the authors use the text structure of cause and effect to inform the reader. Whoa, that's a big one. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean, what we're going to do. So when you see that word I have bolded, explain, that means we're going to talk. So you're going to talk about it, and you can also write. So when I say talk, you're going to explain, and explain is talk. So this is a lot of time to talk and explain. There's this other highlighted word. So I can explain, we know what explain is now, how the authors use the text structure of cause and effect to inform the reader. So let's think about what cause and effect means. So cause and effect is making a relationship between two things. So because of the rain, a rain puddle. Because one thing happens, another thing happens. In this book, the signal word is because. When you see the word because, listen for the cause and effect. Okay, remember, really important. You heard it when we read it the first time. When you hear the word because, you're going to listen for the cause and effect. Okay, one last time. We're going to be able to explain how the authors use the text structure of cause and effect to inform the reader. All right, who's ready to go? Great, but don't forget about because that's going to give us the signal for cause and effect. All right, ready, go. I can explain how the author used the text structure of cause and effect to inform the reader. Because of an acorn, a tree. Did you hear it? Did you hear the word because? Yes, because of an acorn, a tree. So that means the acorn was the cause and the tree was the effect. Great listening. All right, let's keep it up. Because of a tree, a bird. Did you hear it? The word because? Yes. It said because of a tree, a bird. So the cause is a tree, the effect is a bird. Because of a bird, a seed. Did you hear it again? Say it with me. Because of a bird, a seed. Scholars, are you noticing a pattern? How are the details being shared? Yes, cause and effect. What are you all starting to think about this book? Yes, you're noticing the structure of this book is done with cause and effect. So the whole book is going to be the cause and effect relationship in the forest. Let's check out what we have so far. So far we've read because of an acorn, a tree, because of a tree, a bird, because of a bird, a seed. So tell me, how are the authors informing us? Yes, the author is showing each part of how the forest depends on one another using cause and effect. Let's think about that. The author is showing us all these parts of the forest using cause and effect. So now it's your turn. Pay attention and see what happens during the rest of the book. When you hear because, give a thumbs up and say or write down the cause and effect just like I have done. Who's ready? Let's go. Because of a seed, a flower. Because of a flower, a fruit. Because of a fruit, a chipmunk. Because of a chipmunk, a snake. Because of a snake, a hawk. Because of a hawk, an acorn. Because of an acorn, a forest. And we made it to the end again. Did you hear all of those cause and effects? Yeah, let's talk about it. Remember, we're going to explain. Did you hear all the sentences that began with because? What cause and effect relationships did you learn about when I was reading this to you? Yes, I heard about the chipmunk, the snake, and the hawk too. So now let's think more deeply. Tell me, how did the author help you understand the relationship in the forest? Awesome. Do you think cause and effect help the author inform the reader? Yes, these cause and effect details are to show us that the forest is interdependent. Wasn't that so fun? All right, let's check it out. And think about it. Did the structure of this book help teach you something about the forest? So when they used cause and effect, you learned because of a seed, a flower, and then because of a flower, there was fruit. And then because of that fruit, a chipmunk had something to eat. And then that chipmunk provided food for a snake. And then the snake became food for the hawk. So did this book help you learn something about the forest? Awesome, me too. And the authors did it through the structure of cause and effect. So let's go back to this statement. I can explain how the authors use the text structure of cause and effect to inform the reader. So do it. Can you do it? Explain. Tell me. How did the authors use the text structure of cause and effect to inform the reader? Oh, I bet you guys are sharing so many good ideas about what you learned and how the author used the text structure to inform the reader. And think about it. That seemed so hard, and then you just did such a great job. So thank you so much for reading this book with me. I had such a wonderful time. But you know, when we leave a good book, it's always a good idea to do something else. So I have a few ideas for you. So after reading this book, one thing you can do is look around your house. What cause and effect do you see? So you would use this same structure as the book Because of an Acorn. Because of a blank, a blank. So this weekend, I put together some for you that happened at my house. So first, because of leaves, a rake. I had to do a lot of raking. And then because of raking, bags. 12 bags. And then because of a flower bud, a bloom. So do you think you can play this game at your house? I just gave you some ideas, but it'll be fun to search when you're inside or you're out taking walks with your family, that what are some cause and effect relationships that you see all over the place. And then if you want, you can write your own book, just like Because of an Acorn. You're going to use the same sentence structure. Because of a blank, a blank. So here are some ideas. This one you can just make up, or you can do something based on what you see at your home. Because of a flower, a butterfly. Because of the rain, a puddle. And what's fun about puddles is you can say because of the puddle, jumping in puddles. Because of jumping in puddles, getting all wet. See how much fun it could be to write this book together as a family? Remember, all you have to do is the because as a signal word of because of a blank, and then you can write a book with the structure of cause and effect. Students, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you watch other episodes of us doing teaching on television, and you are welcome to listen in, but now I wanted to talk to your parents a little bit about a parent connection. So explain a little bit about what we did here on television today. So parents, thank you so much for all your hard work and everything that you are doing with the students as they're learning at home digitally. We all know that it is a learning curve and you're doing the very, very best that you can. So thank you so much. Whenever you can read with the children, will be great. It's going to help them learn about the world. It will help them practice. So that means you reading to them reading to you. They can read to pets or stuffed animals. As much as we can have reading happening, that will be really helpful for the students and keep them on track for next year. A great strategy to do to build excitement is previewing the book prior to reading. That's what I did. That's why you notice we read this book 2 times. So the first time was to activate the students' thinking. We wanted them to get excited about the book, and I wanted to lay the foundation for what we would be learning. For you guys at home, make this a lot of fun. Look at the pictures. Have them explain to you what they think it's going to be about. You're going to also want to question the students. You noticed all throughout the reading, I stopped and asked questions. I gave a long pause so that they could respond. Let them give all of their answers. Ask them to explain what they're thinking. And you can do the same thing I did. You can ask them questions about, why do you think the author wrote the book in this way? Those are really fun and difficult questions to answer because we have to just do the best based on what we know about the book. So that's a good one. You can also let them ask questions. So when you're looking through the book before you get started and you're noticing some pictures, have the kids ask questions about what they're wondering, what's going to happen next. And then you can ask them those same questions when you're actually reading it. Or you can ask them to find the answers for you. And please try to have them talk and write about books as they're reading. So reading the words is part of it, but having a conversation is the part of the readerly life. Think about that's why people like to go to book clubs and to share books that they've read that they've really enjoyed. So children are this very same way. And then you can also draw a picture to talk about what you have read. So these are just a few ideas, but realize anyone at Beaufort County School District is willing and able to help you out with different ideas, but just make reading just a joyful time that you have with kids. Before I leave though, I wanted to share one last tip. The first segment, the first portion where I read the book out loud and I had the little game where I covered a word, that is a really fun game that you can play at home with any one of your picture books. Because what it helps kids do is to think about what they're going to learn and to figure out words. So it's really good for children to learn how to read by playing this game. So remember, I started with Because of a Chipmunk, and then we covered the next part. And we know there is snake, but first they get to look at the illustrations to see if there's any clues. And then I give them a slight clue of an SN. And so that is causing them to have to look at, what part of the illustration makes sense? And then they have to look at the letters to think if what they're thinking would fit with an SN at the beginning, and then they figure out snake. So that would be a really fun strategy to do at home. Thank you so much for your time. I hope this was helpful. Have a wonderful day.